Football has produced countless legends. There have been great players, iconic moments, and unforgettable matches.
Little squat man comes inside Butcher, leaves him for dead, outside fence.
But every once in a while, a player transcends sport itself.
This is why Maradona's the greatest player in the world.
They become more than an athlete, more than a celebrity, more than a champion. They become a symbol. For the people of Naples, that symbol was Diego Maradona. And while many remember his World Cup triumphs, his stunning goals, and his incredible skills, there was one night that changed everything. One night when the city of Naples stopped seeing him as a football player and started seeing him as something much greater. This is the story of the night Diego Maradona became a god in Naples, a city that felt forgotten. To understand what happened, you first need to understand Naples. For decades, Italy had been divided in more ways than geography. The wealthy and industrialized north enjoyed prosperity, while much of the south struggled economically and socially. Cities like Milan, Turin, and Rome dominated Italian football. The biggest clubs had the money, the biggest stars, the biggest trophies. Naples was different. The city was passionate, vibrant, and proud, but many Neapolitans felt looked down upon by the rest of the country. Stereotypes about southern Italians were common. Northern fans often mocked Naples and its people. Even in football, Napoli was seen as an outsider. While clubs like Juventus, AC Milan, and Inter Milan fought for titles, Napoli usually watched from the sidelines. The city desperately wanted a hero, someone who could stand up to the giants, someone who could make Naples believe. Then Diego Maradona arrived, the most shocking transfer in football. In the summer of 1984, football was stunned. Napoli signed Diego Maradona from Barcelona. At the time, Maradona was already considered one of the most gifted players on earth. His dribbling ability seemed supernatural. His vision was unmatched. He could change an entire match with a single touch. Yet many people questioned the move. Why would a global superstar join Napoli? The club wasn't a powerhouse. They weren't winning championships. They weren't dominating Europe. Many experts thought Maradona was making a mistake. The people of Naples disagreed. When he arrived, over 70,000 fans packed the stadium just to welcome him. No match, no trophy, no title celebration. Just a player stepping onto the field for the first time. The reaction felt less like a football presentation and more like the arrival of a savior. But even then, nobody could have predicted what was coming. Building a dream. Maradona's first seasons weren't easy. Napoli improved dramatically, but transforming an underdog into a champion takes time. Every week, Maradona carried enormous expectations. Fans wanted miracles. The media demanded results. Opponents targeted him relentlessly. Yet he continued to elevate the team. His brilliance inspired belief throughout the city. People began dreaming of something that once seemed impossible, a Serie A title. At the time, winning the Italian league was arguably harder than winning any domestic championship in the world. Serie A featured some of football's greatest stars. World Cup winners, Ballon d'Or contenders, legendary defenders. Every match was a battle, and Napoli were preparing to challenge them all. The season that changed history. The 1986-87 season became a turning point. Napoli played with confidence, determination, and belief. Maradona was magnificent. He wasn't just scoring goals, he was creating them, leading, inspiring, dragging the club toward history. Week after week, Napoli remained at the top of the table. As the season progressed, excitement grew across Naples. People who had never cared much about football suddenly became obsessed. Workers discussed standings during lunch breaks. Families gathered around televisions. Children wore Napoli shirts everywhere. The city could sense history approaching. But history would not truly arrive until one unforgettable night. May 10th, 1987. The date remains sacred in Naples. May 10th, 1987. Napoli faced Fiorentina at the Stadio San Paolo. 1 point. That's all they needed. Just 1 point to secure the first Serie A title in club history. The atmosphere was unlike anything Italy had ever seen. Hours before kickoff, the streets were overflowing with supporters. Balconies were covered in blue flags. Church bells rang. Fireworks exploded throughout the city. It felt as though an entire population was holding its breath. Inside the stadium, emotions ran even higher. Fans understood the significance of the moment. This wasn't merely about football. This was about identity, recognition, pride, respect. For generations, Naples had waited for a chance to stand on top of Italian football. Now that chance was finally here. 90 minutes of tension. The match itself was nerve-wracking. Every pass felt important. Every tackle carried enormous weight. The pressure was immense. Fiorentina took the lead, shocking the crowd. For a moment, fear spread through the stadium. Could the dream collapse at the final hurdle? But Napoli responded. A crucial equalizer restored hope. The score became 1-1. From that moment forward, every second felt like an eternity. Fans watched anxiously. Players fought exhaustion. The city waited. Then the final whistle arrived. The moment, everything changed. As soon as the referee ended the match, chaos erupted. Thousands of supporters flooded onto the pitch. People cried openly. Strangers hugged each other. Fireworks lit up the sky. But amid all the joy, one image stood above the rest. Diego Maradona, the man who had made the impossible possible, the player who transformed a club, the superstar who chose Naples when nobody else believed it could become great. In that moment, Maradona became more than a footballer. He became a symbol of hope, a symbol of rebellion against the established order, a symbol of Southern pride. For many Neapolitans, he represented their own struggle for recognition and respect. And that's when the relationship crossed into something extraordinary. Why they called him a god? Football fans often exaggerate. Restaurants displayed his photographs. Homes contained shrines dedicated to him. His image became part of everyday life. People named children after him. Some even joked that Naples had two religions, Catholicism and Maradona. The jokes weren't entirely jokes. Because what Maradona gave Naples wasn't just trophies. He gave the city belief. For decades, many Neapolitans felt marginalized, beyond football. Years later, Maradona would experience controversies, struggles, and personal battles. His life was far from perfect. Even many of his biggest supporters acknowledge that. But in Naples, people separate the man from the symbol. The symbol represents a time when an overlooked city conquered the giants. Flowers covered monuments. Candles illuminated streets. The pain felt personal because, for many people, it was. They weren't simply mourning an athlete. They were mourning a piece of their city's soul, the legacy of that night. Because that night wasn't just Napoli's first league title. It was a cultural revolution, a declaration that Naples belonged among Italy's elite. And at the center of it all stood Diego Maradona, the magician, the leader, the dream maker, the man who turned hope into reality, the man who gave a city its greatest football memory. Conclusion. There have been many unforgettable nights in football history: World Cup finals, Champions League triumphs, last-minute winners, historic upsets. But few moments have carried the emotional weight of May 10th, 1987. On that night, Napoli won a championship. A city found its voice. Millions found pride. And Diego Maradona became something far bigger than a football player. He became a legend. He became an icon. And in the eyes of Naples, he became a god. If you enjoyed this story, make sure to like the video, subscribe for more legendary football stories, and comment below with the next football icon or historic match you'd like us to cover. Don't forget to turn on notifications so you never miss a new upload. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.